Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Heather, and on this channel we like to walk a very fine line between a shopping addictive makeup monster and a responsible adult with a makeup hobby. Now, I really enjoy eyeshadow singles, duochromes, multichromes, blush, highlight, lip gloss, basically everything except pressed glitter, and today we're going to do a little Valentine's Day special purchaser pass. I haven't done one in a hot second, but there's a bunch of new stuff coming out and I just can't decide what to get. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick with me. We're getting into it right now. So let me start by saying that this look is from the ColourPop, what is it, Lost in Love collection, the one that just came out for this year. I have thoughts. So if you want to check out those thoughts, check out the video. It should be up sometime this week. And we're going to talk about a handful of like Valentine's Day-ish launches that I was really interested in. I'll start with the fact that Unearthly did a Valentine's Day collection box set. It's a mystery box, and normally I'm not a mystery box girly like that. I want to like, let me backtrack, because yes, I am, but if it's from a brand where I've seen other mystery boxes and it's like a bunch of stuff they're just offloading, not a fan. I'm looking at you, ColourPop. And if it's mystery boxes where I have absolutely no idea what's in it, so I can't really gauge if it's worth it or not, I'm hesitant, especially if it's really expensive. Like the Adept mystery box they did with the La Cienega palette over the summer, and they said there was like 8 things in it, but it was really like 1 palette and 7 eyeliners. I would be furious, like furious. All right, so now that my camera has rudely cut me off, we're going to try this again. The first thing that I will talk about in my purchaser pass for all these Valentine's Day launches is the Unearthly Cosmetics mystery box. And normally, like I said, I'm not a huge mystery box person, especially for the price, because it was like 150 bucks. But they sneak peeked that the color story was going to be like pink, purple, and teal, and that very much caught my eye. So I'm super hopeful that whatever's in there is worth my $150 and that it's like products I'll actually use. Who knows? The packaging looked super cool though. I love this like pink and purple angels and demons looking vibe on the front cover of the box. So I have fingers crossed. I did buy it at the time of launch, so I'm hoping I get it sooner rather than later, and then we can kind of open things together, see what it is. So the other reason why I wanted to do this video is to kind of gauge interest, to see if there's anything in particular you guys are wanting to see reviewed. If there is, definitely leave me a comment down below. I can't personally promise to go out and purchase all these things because my bank account would be crying, but I do at least want to see kind of if there's things you're particularly interested in. So I'll start with one of the other collections. Well, 2 other things that I've picked up thus far. Yesterday, Makeupamurder launched this whole Bad Blood collection, and it has 3 mini palettes, one of which is pure iridescent multichrome shimmers. Speechless. I know that this is probably the same formula that a lot of other brands are using, but I would love to have this little like travel size set of toppers. I love the sort of melted metal packaging, the bright red, very pretty. There were 2 other palettes in the collection that I kind of debated back and forth. Do I want to pick up the whole collection or just like the palette? The second palette kind of suckered me in, and then by the time I was going to buy 2 palettes, it was like another $10 to just get the whole collection. So I went ahead and got it. So there will be 3 6-pan palettes that have duochrome, multichrome type shimmers in them, no mattes, an eyeliner, a mirror, and a 3-brush set. I'm personally looking forward to this. I can't wait for it to show up on my door. When it does, I will definitely try to get some content out for you. If there's something specific you guys would like to see out of that, let me know. But that one definitely caught my eye. The other thing that I did already pick up was the Beauty Bay Reckless Romance palette, and that is one of their 20-pan palettes. It's $22 now. If I remember correctly, they used to be $20 though, so I think the price jumped a little bit. Thanks, COVID. But yeah, I'm speechless. I'm very excited for this palette. I think it's going to be very complimentary to the Chucky palette that Glamlite launched last year. Like, I think these 2 would go hand in hand because that one is so deep and dark, and this one is kind of like the lighter, like little sister, but still has a lot of like depth in the tones. So I think this is going to be a really pretty complement to that palette. So I'm excited to give this one a try when it shows up on my door. Okay, what is next? the Bella Beaute bar did their launch a little bit earlier, and I opted not to pick this one up at the last minute, but I had made a post about it on my channel, and that was for the Deanre Nicole collab, the Ultraviolet palette, which was that all purple wonder. And then they had the Dead Roses palette, which was sort of this like purple, pink, red color story. I'm like a straight up sucker for Valentine's Day launches, and I don't quite know why. Other than the fact that I like pink eyeshadow, I'm not sure why I get like sucked into all of these, but it was very appealing. What ultimately lost me was the price, and I just, as I think about my current collection, I'm like, girl, you have like 1,000 Valentine's Day palettes, you don't need any more. So the desire is there, but just the price was a little bit steep, and it was coming like right after I had purchased the Unearthly palettes or mystery box or whatever, so I did go ahead and hold off on that one for now. The other thing that I decided to hold off on for now is the Glamlite and Betty Boop collection. This has a palette, a blush duo, a bag, lashes, lip duo. I mean, there's a ton of stuff in the collection, which I think is awesome, and the prices for Glamlite are always very reasonable for the quality that you get, so I don't object to the price. When I look at the swatches of the palette, I do think that like some of the plummy purple and like that sort of iridescent lilac-y shade look very, very pretty. But then there's a lot of reds in there too. And it kind of doubles up on the one night, was it Nightmare on Elm Street, I think? That palette that they did for part of their Halloween launches. So I kind of want to have a chance to try that one out before I get this one. I suspect I will probably still pick this up at some point because I love getting Glamlite palettes. But this will probably be one that I get when they do like a random sale at some point. Okay, next up, let's talk about Salem Cosmetics NOLA, or New Orleans, Louisiana, NOLA, I don't know. Anyway, they have the Perfect Happiness palette and the Love is Blood palettes, which are two different, somewhat monochromatic 9-pan palettes that are themed after Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Buffy with Angel, and Buffy with Spike. First of all, Buffy with Spike was the better couple. I will not be taking questions at this time. The color story for that one, though, is predominantly like warm tones, pink, red, orange. There's a brown in there, and I don't like that color story as much, but I definitely am intrigued by it. And then the Perfect Happiness palette is the Angel one, and it looks like they've revamped it to include a holochrome, which is really exciting. So I will probably pick these two up, one for the nostalgia and two because I just think their formula is pretty nice. So yeah, that's on the horizon at some point. I think it launches on Valentine's Day, or relaunches. They did have these in the past, but they've reformulated at least some of the shades. Next up is Wicked Widow did the Lovesick collection. They have a palette for $36. It's 8 pans, 3 lip products. I'm not sure if they're lip stains or matte liquid lipsticks. I can't tell. And then they did like a little bag too. The bag I could take or leave. I like the iridescent quality to it. The lipsticks are not for me. And then the palette, I think it's pretty, but it looks too soft. Like I wish it was a little bit more like bright and intense. I think for what it is, it's very pretty. It's just not my particular style, so I'll probably be passing over that one. The other palette to talk about is the Notoriously Morbid Love Fool palette, and this one has this cute little like crying sad clown chick on the front of it. And then it's a 12-pan palette, purple, pink, teal, and some reds. And then you've got different finishes here. It looks like there's several iridescent shades, which I am all on board with. I think I got a picture of the swatches too. Yeah. I suspect they've turned up the intensity, the saturation on the swatch pictures, and I hate when they do that. I'm not sure if they're doing it to try to capture the iridescence better or if they're doing it because they think that will sell their palettes better. But I think it would be great if they disclosed that too. This palette is going to be $39.99, so a bit expensive. It's going to be a bit expensive, and I also haven't yet tried their brand. I did order another palette from them, the Winter Witch palette? But it hasn't actually come in yet. It just finally was changed to a shipping status. Gosh, when was that? Like a week ago? No, this weekend. Yeah, Season of the Witch. And that has some pinks and blues in it too. So I definitely want to give that palette a try before I rush to purchase a second palette from the brand. But that Love Fool palette really does catch my eye. Okay, and then some non-eyeshadow palette things that caught my eye. Givemeglow is releasing some more magnetic Z palettes, and they have one that looks kind of like a love letter. And that has my heart. Like, I love that. I used to have the NYX, there was like a NYX love letter palette, and I think I decluttered it, and I'm almost sad that I did because it was a really cool little palette. But yeah, I definitely think I'm going to be picking that up at some point. Milk Makeup released these cooling water jelly sheer lip and cheek stains, and I think they're really cute in terms of the packaging. So I was in the middle of talking about the Milk Makeup cooling water jelly tint sheer lip and cheek stains when my laptop died. So I've had my camera die, my laptop has died. Why don't we just dump a whole pot of coffee on top of my mic and call it a day? Am I right? So pulling back, this is a sheer jelly type texture that you can kind of top onto your face for $24. There's pink, red, coral, and berry. So I like that they kind of differentiated the shades, although I think the pink and the berry are not quite different enough in the swatches. Very sheer, which makes sense for what they were going for, and I think I would like these more as like a lip product rather than as like a face product. I just see this probably lifting my foundation a little bit, so I think I'll probably stick clear of this one, but I did think it was a really cool launch, and I like the way that the actual product looks. The other blush that kind of caught my attention is Juvia's Place released some luminous blushes to go along with their matte blushes in the liquid format that they've already come out with. So these are the Blush Liquid Blushlighters. They're going to be $18 a piece, which, like, ouch, Juvia's Place. But they have several tones, and most of them are either rose gold, white gold, or yellow gold pearl that's in them. I personally, because I do so much over the top eyeshadow, I don't think I want any like luminous blushes. I've had them in the past. They tend not to be my like go-to formulas. So I think I'll probably skip over on those entirely, but I thought it was cool that they came out with more shades. And then I think the last thing to talk about, this is a quick video, you guys, but the last thing to talk about is the Haus Labs PhD Hybrid Lip Glaze. Supposed to be skincare infused, cause burn-free limp. It will help with burn-free lip plumping after 2 weeks of continuous use. And it's a 4-in-1 formula, lip oil, balm, plumper, and gloss in 6 shades. And do we have a price? I don't see a price. The reason why these really like called to me is because they look like in general to be quite cool toned. The fig shade definitely has my attention, and I like the guava shade as well. I think those would be very complementary. I even think the cocoa shade, because it is like a cool toned, almost plummy brown, would look very complementary on my skin tone, whereas the praline is a little bit warmer, a little bit like orangier to the brown. So I think the cocoa shade would be a better choice. So the 3 shades definitely catch my eye. I don't know what the price is of these, but I'm sure it's a lot. So $26. So definitely won't be buying all 3 of them. But definitely, you know, kind of piqued my interest. I try not to buy too many lip products because I have so many already. But yeah, that was something that kind of caught my eye. All right, and with that said, I think that is everything for this video. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me through all the technical glitches that came along with this afternoon. I want to thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you go, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.